Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. And we've got a voicemail from a caller, fan of the franchise, saying, why aren't there more women with tattoos and hair coloring? Oh, we know there's hair coloring, but, red, blue, pink, non-natural hair coloring represented on the show. Why don't they have more creative expression of the physical sense on the show? Of course, they push for diversity when it comes to race and also size and things like that. But some users are saying, "Hey, we want more. We want our first sleeved lady out there." Has there been any sleeve tattoos? There was one in Bachelor Australia. We'll get into that. Why she had to get her sleeve covered up. Now, the question is, with our country, in some ways, we have a pretty big conservative following in the Midwest and the South. Are we okay with tattoos on women? I personally am. I could care less. But there's religious reasons where you're not supposed to get buried in certain religious burial grounds if you've got tattoos. And there's other regional and other issues regarding tattoos. But it's a good question. Let's play the voicemail and then we'll talk more about it here. And also, don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram at DNeals, patreon.com/Dave Neal for bonus behind-the-scenes live streams. If you work from home and you want some friends to work from home with, join the Patreon for as little as $5 a month. I literally turn the live stream on and I construct my thumbnails and different videos, and you guys hang with me. I do it for multiple hours a week, so you can be a part of that community. All right, let's get into this first voicemail here, or only voicemail that we're listening to regarding tattoos. Let's have a listen.
Hi, Dave. This is Katie from New York. I'm calling in regards to the diversity on the season. I totally agree that they do need more racial diversity as well as body diversity. But I also feel like they need more creative people on the show. I am covered in tattoos, and I feel like I never see women on the show who have colored hair or tattoos or anything like that. I feel like they would get flack for it because Blake Monar, he was tatty daddy on the season. Everyone was like, oh, he's so hot. But I feel like if there was a woman with tattoos, all of the moms in the comments would be like, oh, she would be so pretty without her tattoos and all that stuff.
True.
Maybe I'm just projecting because that's how I feel in the world. But I feel like I would just love to see more women on the show who are a little bit more creative. I was slightly disappointed this season when I saw every woman was a size 0 with blonde hair. It was very much the same. I don't know. Maybe people will disagree with me, but I just feel like it would be really cool to see that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so much, Katie in New York, saying she wants tattoo representation. And of course, why not? I mean, and again, I don't condone people saying, oh, you'd be beautiful if you didn't have that tattoo. Or why did you get those tattoos to ruin who you are, X, Y, and Z? But I do know that'll exist. We do know that will exist from, did you call them Karens or we call them Karens? There'll be people out there when someone, if she uses, we're so critical of those. Oh, Caitlin Bristow's face, it's like you read these one after another. It's got to be just excruciating to read the comments. But with regards to this situation, it's made me think, what do we have for representation with tattoos? Now, there are a few. We'll get into Claire Crowley's tattoos, not exactly setting the bar for the inked ones out there. But the question is, are the producers avoiding tattooed contestants, or are we just not getting many people submitting that are in the tattooed sleeve, colored hair world that want to be on The Bachelor? Is it something that The Bachelor's not looking for them, or are they just not excited to be on the show, or a little bit of both? We'll have to see. You won't believe why producers made this Bachelor contestant cover up her tattoos. Take a look at the controversial tattoo story sweeping the reality TV world. The Bachelor is an international television franchise, so here she is. She's got a full sleeve right there on her left arm, but they made her wear these full sleeve dresses, which, by the way, I love. And not that anyone cares. I love a dress with a full sleeve. I don't know what it is about that. I love a good sleeve, but I also love, I love a sleeve tattoo. So maybe it's just, I don't know. All right, so there she is. Isabel Davies is her name, and she's a part of Australia. The 29-year-old Jessica Davies is a contestant during astrophysicist Matt Ague's season. And fans of the show might be surprised to learn that under the sparkly dresses, Davies is pretty tattooed. Davies was instructed by producers to cover up her sleeve, which is inspired by The Simpsons because of potential copyright issues. We've seen this with, I don't know if you guys remember, Mike Tyson had a face tattoo, and the artist basically was suing him for I don't know if it was copyright infringement or what, because that tattoo was being seen on TV. It's a bizarre legal world that I'm not too familiar with. But you guys, I don't know if you remember if you watched Survivor. There was a contestant here who always had tape on his tattoo. And everyone's like, what the hell's on that tattoo? It was a John Deere tractor. It was a John Deere tractor. That's all it was. So, that is part of it where you have to cover up logos and things like that. You can't just have a Just Do It tattoo on the back because, of course, in the influencer world we live in, you'll have like Margarita skinny tea. You'll just get it tattooed right on your clavicle. And then it's like, all right, I'm, whatever. So you can understand that they want to avoid that. I don't think that's really what the caller was talking about, nor do I think that's what, that's a reason why we're not seeing tattoos out there. But I just wanted to share those examples. Here's Claire Crowley talking about her 3 tattoos, which of course, not exactly too much ink. I feel like the show is okay with subtle tattoos, but we're talking like we haven't seen that full out female sleeve.
Oh my gosh, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tattoos. And the reason I say it like question mark is because a couple of them are questionable. You want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
I actually got laser hair removal on my bikini line this year.
Thank you. There it was.
And the girl was very new at doing laser hair removal. So she ended up, one of my tattoos is down near my bikini line. And she lasered right over that, which is the biggest no-no in laser hair removal. So it blistered and she took off like half of my tattoo. So I have kind of a tattoo there, but she lasered part of it off. So this is probably my favorite one. It's my
All right, so she discusses this tattoo, which is Password, which is an inside story between her and friends. It's like a code to like drop what they're doing and like help each other out. Can you imagine if you actually had your password tattooed onto your arm, and it's like your mother's maiden name, and then you forget it, and they're like, you have to reset your password. I'm like, I tattooed it onto my arm. I'm not resetting my or it's like you got the passport, and it's got like one uppercase letter and an exclamation mark, and they're like, yeah, but now we need to have a symbol as well, and you're like, all right, get me the ink. All right. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, they clearly exist. Claire's an example. Tattoos exist, but of course not on the level that you're speaking of, which is the in-your-face level. Now, the history of tattoos, a secret history of women in tattoo. Lots, and there's a lot on TikTok regarding tattoos recently, because a lot of native culture that have face tattoos, it's I don't know if it's coming back so much or if it's being shared more, but a lot being shared there. Olive Oatman in 1858 was the first tattooed white woman in the U.S. after her family was killed by Indians on a trip west in the 1850s. She was adopted and raised by Mojave Indians who gave her a traditional tribal tattoo. When she was ransomed back at age 19, she became a celebrity. So there she is, the first white woman with a tattoo. By the way, she's beautiful. She could be on Bachelorette right there. She looks like she's going to haunt your dreams. Any old photo looks like a haunting to me. You know what I mean? Just something about that looks like she's going to jump out at you. So Nora, the first American tattooed circus attraction in the late 1880s. Like many early attractions, Hildebrand claimed to have been forcibly tattooed by Western Indians following Olive Oatman's example. She was tattooed in New York by her common-law husband, Martin Hildebrand, one of the first shop tattooists in the U.S. So she lied about being forcefully tattooed to join the circus. Maud Wagner, the first known female tattooist in the U.S., 1911. In 1907, she traded a date with her husband-to-be for tattoo lessons. Their daughter, Loteva Wagner, was also a tattooist. So that's a full tattoo. There you go, right? That's a good one right there. Number 4, Mildred Hull. Nice sleeve. She has the sleeves. Mildred Hull. These old people names. We need to bring back Mildred. Anyone with any Mildreds out there? Hey, if you're a Mildred out there, leave a comment. I'm gonna Venmo you a cup of coffee. Let's all send Mildred some coffee. One of the first women to learn tattooing without the help of a boyfriend or husband. She worked on the Bowery for 2 decades and tattooed many women, including debutantes and sorority sisters. They often requested hearts containing lovers' names and mother tattoos. I wonder if anyone has my name tattooed. I wish you could Google that. Anyone have Dave Neal tattooed on them? Let me know. Like many tattooed circus attractions, Anna Mae Burlington Gibbons was a working class woman who was tattooed during economic hard times. She and her husband, the tattooist Charles Gibbons, traveled and worked as a team. So there you go. There's a nice looking sleeve tattoo there. She's got skinny arm, bitch wing. She's doing the whole thing. She's got some sort of nice little hat thing working on there. Tattooed legs as well. It's hard to tell with these old photos what's a tattoo and what's a dress. This is fascinating. Betty Broadbent, one of the best known and most photographed American circus. So what did you have to be in the circus to have a tattoo back in the day? Wow. I mean, in today's world, this would turn turn heads. So I can't imagine what it would be like back then. People literally would probably stop traffic to see this. And how funny is this circus? Literally, that was like, we didn't have Google. So it's like, what do you want to do? Well, in today's world, you scroll TikTok. But back in the day, you go, let's go to the circus and look at people that are not normal looking to our standards. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. Elizabeth Weinzierl, 1961, a doctor's wife who began getting tattooed at 47. She was one of the first women to collect and show her tattoos recreationally. So, as in, didn't have to be part of a circus to show her tattoos. Anyone leave a comment with people in the comment section. Are tattoos addicting? I don't feel like many people just get one. I feel like the tattoo is the Pringle of the art world. Once you pop, you can't stop, right? I don't have any, more so due to my indecisiveness. And I feel like as a guy, if I was to get like tattoos, I would have to be strong. I don't think I look strong enough for a tattoo. Although I would say it would be nice to like get a tattoo that dissolves in a year just to try it out. But again, that's not for me. I'm a blank canvas, folks. Bobby Liberi, 1976, was an attraction turned tattooist in San Francisco. The 93-year-old Cunningham, who photographed the 83-year-old Liberi in a hospital, thought this was one of her best portraits. How beautiful is that? Because people always go, how's that going to look when you get older? Well, we all age. We're all going to look differently as we get older. You know what I mean? No problem having And here's billed variously as Miss Technicolor, the classy lassie. The classy lassie with a tattooed chassis. Oh boy, I wish I had a name like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the classy lassie with a tattooed chassis, the Australian Cindy Ray, toured in Australia and New Zealand in the early 60s. Then learned a tattoo and has been working ever since. Now 70, she goes by her birth name Bev Nicholas and works weekends at Moving Pictures Tattoo Studio near Melbourne, where she has been tattooing for over 40 years. Yeah, it's just, there's certain words you just never thought you'd say, like, I'm 36 and a half years old. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would ever say, the classy lassie with a tattooed chassis, but it just comes off very nice. So there are some examples for everybody. Now here's an example of an Indigenous tattoo, which, like I said, are becoming either more popular as of late or being shared more on TikTok. But let's just have a listen.
Before I continue this, I have to let you know that when you do ask Indigenous and Aboriginal people these questions, it is considerably rude, but because I am white passing, I will share it with you. So, back in ancient times, it was very common that tribal people had tattoos on their faces, both Aboriginal and Indigenous people all around the world. When the whites came into the Americas and, colonization was happening, they considered it demonic to have face tattoos, and they were very intimidated by them, so they forced upon removing them from people's cultures. For my grandpa's tribe specifically, which are Inuit and Yupik, which is in the Alaskan region, women would get them tattooed on them when they were becoming a woman by their grandmother or their mother with seal oil and lamp oil, and it was hand poked. Cool. And it was a very ceremonial and special time that showed that they were able to bear children and also be married. Before I continue this, I have to let you know that
there you go. Seal oil. Seal oil. Let's go to Chin Tattoo on TikTok and see if there's any other chin tattoo examples. Here's another person.
It's called a moko kauai. And depending on where you're from in Aotearoa, your family, your iwi, your hapu, there are different significant, very cultural and spiritual meanings to moko kauai. So for me,
Australian?
My moko kauai represents my whakapapa, my connections from Ranginui to Papatuanuku, from the heavens to the earth. It represents all of my whānau, all of my ancestors that have walked before me, and it represents my connection to my future generations. And it's very spiritual. It's not a fashion statement. And it is reserved for Māori women only. And the men get mataora, or matakiore, which is a whole nother kaupapa.
So she says here, someone said, a specific reason why you put it on your face? Yep, it is because our heads are sacred. Okay, well, we learned a few things about tattoos. Some are religious, some are spiritual, some are symbolic, some are artwork. And you can do whatever you want with your body. Sadly, that comes with people judging you. because that's what we do, judge books by a cover. We'd like to, but social media, TikTok, it's good to see that there are cultures there that don't just look like, just some person that doesn't have seal oil inked onto their skin. So regardless of whether it's a sleeve for a fashion statement, or you're in the 60s in a circus, or because it's for tribal reasons, I'm all about it. Now, why we don't see it on The Bachelor, I don't know, because I feel like it would make news whether people like it or dislike it, which, by the way, our opinions about tattoos are none of our business. It's about the person who wants to get it. All right, let me know what you guys think. And of course, I love voicemails like this that help us look at other aspects of Bachelor Nation we might not normally be discussing, like tattoos on women. So is there a double standard? Are we okay seeing the tattoos on the men and they're keeping us from seeing the tattoos on women? And Katie in New York, who called in, if you're single, why don't you submit to the show? Let's get that representation started. Love to know what you guys think. We'll talk to y'all in a little bit. Bye now.